Shri Sai Ram. Dear students, welcome to the class. I hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to do the second session of our chapter, Whatever We Do. I do hope you all read and understood the first session of this chapter, and did you all do the assignments and send it to the teachers? So today, before going on to the second session, we will go through the answers of your assignments. The first question, the author says, let us make them better. What does the word them stand for? Answer, the word them stands for our words and actions. Whatever we say and whatever we do, we should do it better. Question 2. Imagine that a parent of your friend says, work only for the result. How would you respond to this statement? Answer, I don't actually agree with him, but out of respect, I would not argue with him. I would just say, thank you for your advice. Third question, what are the ways in which we usually thank a person for having helped? Answer, there are several ways in which we can thank a person for having helped us. We can say thanks or thanks a lot. We can also say, I am very grateful to you. We now come to the second session and the glossary of the difficult words. Indication means a sign. Gesture means some action with the hands. Pleasant means nice. Refuse means to say no or deny. Shun means to avoid something or somebody. Inevitable means something that cannot be avoided. Next word, grudgingly. To do something without wanting to do it. Rough means discourteous or rude. Brevity means to use very few words. Genuine means real. Suggest means advice. Tasty fare means delicious food. Now I just want to give an instruction to all of you. There are many difficult words which you find in English. For this, you should always keep your dictionary, both English to English dictionary and, very important, your English to Kannada dictionary, because this will help you to understand the chapter much better. So this time and next time onwards, please keep your English to Kannada dictionary with you. So last time the author had told us about various incidents which he felt that things could be done in a better way by the people. For instance, in the lift, the two persons who were in the lift, how they could have said a few words which would have made the others around them comfortable. Same way he mentioned about how it is when you visit a shop. So that he is giving his various experiences where he feels that things could be expressed or said or acted in a better way. So here the author says, Doctors treating patients can make their jobs much better if they choose to talk nicely to their patients. A word here or a word there. Most doctors are serious or even stern. Probably they imply that they are doing serious work. But talking nicely and reassuringly is also a part of treatment, isn't it? It is said that a couple of friendly words from the doctor or even a smile can go a long way in making the patient feel better. Now I will explain this to you. Doctors treating their patients can make their job much better if they talk nicely to patients. Is it not? When any patient goes to the doctor, if he speaks something nicely and smiles, then what does the patient feel? The patient feels comforted or happy that everything is fine. But some doctors are serious. They have a serious face, they don't smile, or even stern. Stern means unsmiling. Probably they imply that they are doing serious work. Maybe they feel that it is some serious work because a patient's health is very important, is it not? So the doctors are concerned or worried for their patients, and sometimes this shows in their actions or speech. So what is needed? The doctor can talk nicely and reassuringly. That will also help the patient, is it not? It is said that a couple of friendly words from the doctor or even a smile can go a long way in making the patient feel better. When a doctor says a few words and smiles at the patient begins to feel better even before the medicines and treatment are given. On a certain occasion, I hailed an auto rickshaw and said, "City Hospital." The auto man did not look at me but simply downed the meter. Well, it was a clear indication that he was willing to take me to my destination. But wouldn't it have been much better if he had said, "Yes, sir, please get in," or simply said, "Come"? The least he could have done was to make a gesture with his hand, face or hand. I did mention the point to him, and to my good luck, he agreed with me. Now, once it happened that the author called for an auto rickshaw. The auto rickshaw came close to him, and the author told him, "Please take me to City Hospital." So what did the auto rickshaw driver do? He just downed the meter. He didn't say anything. So when he downed the meter, the author understood that I can get in and he will take me to my destination, which is City Hospital. But the author says, the auto person, he could have told me, "Yes, sir, please get in," or he could have said, "Come," or he could have made some action with his hand and shown, "You may get in." So the author told the auto rickshaw driver, "You could have shown some action with your hand or said some words, and then I would know that you are willing to take me, is it not?" So the auto rickshaw driver, he agreed and he said, "Yes, I could have done that, because that would have been a better way." The person who is taking the auto rickshaw would not be in a doubt. Will is he willing to take me or not? If he had just said a few words. So next we go to this another occasion. I called an auto and said, Central Market. He said, sorry sir, it's time for me to hand over the auto. And so saying, he hailed another auto and asked, Guru, Central Market? That man agreed and I got in. This shows that we can say no also in the most pleasant way. Now the second time, the author, this was another occasion, the author called an auto. Another word for called is hailed. Hail means to call. He called an auto on another day and he said, will you take me to Central Market? So the auto driver was a little busy at that time. So he said, now I have to give this auto to somebody else. So I will not be able to take you. That is what he meant. So what did he do? That auto driver, he got down from his auto rickshaw. He called another auto and he asked that auto driver, will you take this person to Central Market? And that auto driver said yes. So the author got into the second auto rickshaw. Now please mark the words that he used to call the other auto driver. He said Guru, Central Market. The word Guru means he is giving a respectful term. He is not saying, A, will you take him to Central Market? He said, Guru, take him to Central Market. So this auto driver, he has put whatever he wanted to say in a very nice way. He was a helpful person. That is why he took time off. He got down from his auto and called another auto for this person. And he also spoke nicely to the other auto driver. So this is how our actions and speech should be, both helpful actions and nice words. Even a very ordinary thing like giving alms to a beggar can be done in a better way. Here, take this. Here, take this. We can say nicely and with some feeling. What do most people do? They refuse to look at the beggar. If he persists, they indicate that he should go ahead. Some say, Munde hogappa, go further, or some such thing. Now here, the author is saying, sometimes when we give some money to a beggar, we can say it in a nice way. Here, take this. And with a feeling, here, take this. But what do most people do? They don't look at the beggar. They just walk faster or walk away. If he persists means if he goes on asking. Sometimes they may come after us, after the person asking, please give, please give. That is persisting. Persist. They indicate that he should go ahead. So they will say, go, don't you go away from here. Don't come near me, you go to somebody else. Go further. They will say like that. Some don't say anything, but try to shun the beggar by their body language. Some people may not say anything, but they will just turn away from the beggar and show that they don't want to give anything. Like this here, the word shun means to avoid. They try to avoid the person and move away. That is, they are using their body language. They don't say any words. They only show with their body language, I don't want to give. And finally, when the giving becomes inevitable, they give grudgingly. Now the beggar keeps walking after the person and keep on asking. So finally the person thinks, oh, what to do? Let me give it. And he gives it grudgingly. He gives some money grudgingly. What is the meaning of this word grudgingly? Means doing something without wanting to do it. He doesn't want to actually give, but he gives it because he doesn't want that person following him. If we decide to give alms, should we not do so gracefully? Alms means money or anything that you give to somebody who is coming to you and asking for help. That is alms, means money. Mostly it is money. So, if we decide to give alms, should we not do it gracefully? We can do it nicely, is it not? In Mumbai, they have a nice way of saying, Maaf karo. Please excuse me. It's a nice way of saying, sorry, I'm not able to give. Okay, sometimes people may not want to give, but how should they say no? They can say it in a nice way. Please excuse me. That is what the author is telling here. We have a number of notices, instructions and orders like no parking, no smoking, no admission, visitors' cars not allowed, and so on and so forth. Don't these terms sound rather rough? True, people are trying to be brief because brevity is a genuine need in such public notices. But we have seen that at least in the case of smoking, people have made some innovation. Nowadays, they write, thank you for not smoking. So, what is the author speaking about here? He is speaking about notices that are put in public places. You might have noticed different signs, no parking, no smoking, no admission, visitors' cars not allowed. In apartments, you will find this visitors' cars not allowed. Only those who are staying in that apartment can park their cars inside. Visitors' cars have to be parked outside. These are all different kinds of public notices. But the author says, don't these terms sound rather rough? Don't these terms this way sound a little rude? Cannot it be put in a better way? Maybe by adding the word please. But he says, people are trying to be brief. Brief means use minimum words because brevity means usage of minimum words is a genuine need in such public notices. We cannot put long words in a public notice, is it not? But sometimes there are ways of improving the way a public notice is put. He says, like in the case of smoking, instead of saying no smoking, it is written in some places, thank you for not smoking. Which is better? Which sounds better? No smoking or thank you for not smoking. People will read this and feel, yes, I should listen to this. I should do it this way. Now, what is the meaning of innovation? Innovation means some new way of doing something. That is the meaning of the word innovation. Can't we try to use better terms in other cases also? I am not suggesting that in every case we should say thank you for. We can think of innovative methods to make our orders, instructions and notices sound more polite, more polished. Here the author is saying that for everything you cannot say thank you and you cannot have a nice way of saying something, but wherever we can think of innovative methods, we can think of new and different ways to make our orders, instructions and notices sound more polite and polished. Polished means that is in a nice way. So, this is what the author is telling us. Yes, we can always try to give our instructions. When I tell you, for instance, students, keep your dictionaries ready, and I say, students, please keep your dictionaries ready. Which is the better way of saying it? When we use the word please, right? So, these are the examples for that. In South India, some restaurants are famous for the tasty fare they offer. Naturally, therefore, they have big rush and it is a problem for the management. In one such restaurant, I saw a board, "Don't sit here for a long time." How odd! Can they not say the same thing in better words? Luckily, I saw in another place a board, "Please make room for waiting customers." In yet another place, I saw a notice which read, "Kindly make room for waiting friends." So, here the author is saying, in some restaurants, we get very tasty food. Because of that, lot of people like to visit that restaurant. So, there is so much rush. Now, what to do when there is so much rush? Because what the management, the people who are running the restaurant, they find that people sit in their seats and talk for a long time. Sometimes even after finishing their meal, they will continue to sit there and talk among themselves. So, the management or the people who are running the restaurant have a problem, because there will be more customers waiting outside to come in. And here the people who have actually finished their meal have not got up. They are not getting up and leaving. So, what do? In some places, they write a notice, "Don't sit here for a long time." But in another place, in another restaurant, it was written in a better way, "Please make room for waiting customers." In another place, he read a notice, "Kindly make room for waiting friends." Actually, in all these three sentences, the same thing is being said, which is, please leave the place after you finish the meal. This is what they want to say. But how are they putting it? So when it is put in a nice way, people feel good. If it is kept in a rude way, it is spoken in a rude way, "Don't sit here for a long time." How does it sound? People will not like it, is it not? So, there are different ways of saying the same thing. It may sound good or it may sound not so good. How you speak, it will depend on how you speak to the others. The same thing can be said in different ways. So, now we will come to the key points of this session. A doctor who feels empathy towards his patients would say and do everything possible to make them feel comfortable. Empathy means the feeling of pain of another person. That is called empathy. When you feel empathy with someone means you are also feeling the same pain that that person feels. So when we go to a doctor, doctors feel empathy towards their patients and they say and do things which will make the patients feel comfortable. On two separate occasions, the author had hired auto rickshaws. He explains how the drivers responded in different ways. He has given two examples when he called an auto rickshaw to take him to a certain place. And we saw how both the auto rickshaw drivers responded to the customer. We must treat an unfortunate person who approaches us for alms with kindness. We might not oblige by giving him money, but we can speak to him in an obliging manner. A person that we saw the other example of how a beggar comes to beg for alms. Alms means money, and how we should treat them when they come. The author mentions that public notices could be written in a less rude way. It need not be no doing this, no doing that. Sometimes we can write in a better way, like we saw in the example of the restaurant. In restaurants too, the messages can be conveyed in a gracious way. What is the meaning of the word gracious? Means in a polite manner, polite way. In paragraph 10, the author says that brevity is a genuine need in public notices. Now, what is the meaning of this sentence? This means that in public places, the notices should be very brief because people will not have the time or patience to read long messages. So, do you understand the meaning of the word brevity? I am asking this again so that it remains in your mind. Brevity means using very less words. Now, here is an assignment for you all to do. Please pay attention. Mark right or wrong after reading the sentences. A doctor should not speak nicely and reassuringly to his patients. Is that right or wrong? You should mark it there in the bracket. Second, he should keep a stern and unsmiling face when a patient comes for consultation. In paragraph 8, the first auto rickshaw driver spoke to the author rudely. Is that right or wrong? He refused to take the author to his destination. Right or wrong? You have to mark it there. He refused means he said, no, I will not take you to the destination. Is that right or is it wrong? The second auto rickshaw driver was very helpful. Is that right or is that wrong? You have to mark it. He drove the author to his destination. The second auto rickshaw driver drove the author to his destination. When a person approaches us to beg for alms, we must tell him to go to the next person. Yes or no? You have to write. A function is being conducted in a public hall. It may be a marriage, it may be a meeting. Those who are not invited are not permitted entry. Permitted means allowed. So, there are two posters here, two notices. Uninvited persons not permitted. Only invited persons permitted. Which of these two notices would you choose? When you go to a restaurant, which of these notices would you like to see? Kindly make room for waiting customers. Second notice says, kindly vacate the table when you finish your meal. Vacate means leave the table. So, out of these two, which one would you like to see in a restaurant? Some more questions and answers, questions for which you will have to write the answers and send to your teacher. How do you think doctors can improve their image with their language? What difference do you find between the two auto rickshaw drivers' responses? If we decide to give alms to a beggar, how should we give it? These are the assignments for you. Here are the instructions. In your textbook, you will find questions and exercises at the end of each section and at the end of the lesson. You should complete all the questions and exercises given. Please keep a notebook for this purpose and ensure that your work is neatly done. So with this, we come to the end of our second session. If you have any doubts or any difficulties in understanding, please do approach your teacher for help. Thank you very much for being here, and until we meet next time, goodbye.